Glad to get a spot in the playoffs somewhere. And now we'll try to get a home field the rest of the ways we go through. But our guys really played well. I tell you what, I was telling the guys, I don't know if last time one of our offenses scored 4 of the first 5 possessions, touchdowns. And that got us a good lead there. And then our defense came alive, gave up some yards here and there, gave up the opening drive, but DG Olatoya, did I pronounce that right? Got the pick that really put us up 28-6, I guess. So that was a huge play. And then Cody Riggs got another pick after your guy dropped. Was it same play twice for touchdowns? Gee. But anyway, it worked out nicely. Atlanta's a lot better team than that. Just had ball bounced our way a lot today. So we're happy to get a win and move on. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we gave game ball to our offensive line coaches. We have 2 of them. One coaches the inside, another guy coaches the tackles. And that was by far the best game for our offensive line, pass protection and run blocking. And of course, our runners ran well, cut well. If something wasn't there, they found a way to make yards. So that was obviously always good when you run the ball the way we were able to do, especially there in the second half when we got a lead. But anyway, Garrett Gilbert, again, had an outstanding game. Throws a beautiful pass, as all of you know. Hit Rennell Hall on that one right at the start of the second half. That was a nice play also. And then Davion Smith scored 3 touchdowns. I think first time in Alliance history some guy scored 3. So we got some good players, and when we play well, our pass rush needs to get better. We're not as good pass rushing as we were early in the year. But we got a lot of things to work on, but this was a good win for us. Mm-hmm. We just prepare really mainly ourselves, to tell you the truth. We try to see what kind of coverages they run and this, that, and the other, and offensively what they try to do. But we try to worry about ourselves really more than the opponent, and hopefully we'll have a good plan offensively and defensively. And we don't get too much into their personnel. They're all good players, and we got a lot of good players. So we try to have a lot of good plays on offensively and defensively also. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, how many carries do you have? Just 10 carries and 3 touchdowns. Yeah. Like I said, I think he's the first guy in the Alliance to score 3, and we had to power him in there. We didn't do that last week against the Hot Shots. We tried to run twice on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, and I was kicking myself for doing that. But the way he was running today, we had 2 points. That's what we started doing, running those, which makes sense when your line's blocking well and you got a back like Davion. Yeah. Let me tell you what, I lost my last 2 games in Atlanta. The SEC championship with South Carolina, and then the Peach Bowl right after that, back in 2010 season. So it's good to get a win coming out of Atlanta. Yeah, Aaron threw a lot of beautiful passes. Gosh, y'all barely overthrew a couple of big ones that, could have made the game close. But, Aaron's I was with Danny Warfel last night. In fact, Danny came to the game. He lives here in Decatur, the Atlanta area. He spoke at our chapel service last night. And I told him Aaron Murray's still the leading passer in SEC history. Of course, Danny, his first 2 years, he alternated with Terry Dean. He didn't play the whole time. But, Aaron's a beautiful passer, and I'm glad they just missed a few barely today. Mm-hmm. Over here, yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between coaching in the college and coaching in the app as far as the players
Mm-hmm.
and your routine and stuff? What are you doing different from then to now?
Well, it's a little bit different, but a lot of similarities also. We meet, we practice, and the guys are off at night. We don't really have any meetings at night. So But we don't have as many meetings on the road trips either, I've learned. You just turn them loose a little bit and hope that they're professionals. And all these players know that they're doing an audition or an interview every game. And if they play very well, they're going to get a shot in the big leagues. And a lot of our guys know that, so they come to the ballpark ready to play. And you give them a little bit more freedom, I think, than you do with the college kids. But hopefully they're smart enough to handle it. Yep. Yep. Well, that first fourth and 7 at midfield. Yeah, somebody said, you're going to punt, and I said, our defense hadn't stopped them yet. We're going for this one. And the tight end got it and ran down there. But if our defense was playing well, we would have punted in a heartbeat. But we struggled that first drive. So I said, we got a chance to stay on the field, and it worked out sometimes. Doesn't always work out. We missed it last week one time around midfield. But anyway, yeah, we got a lot of good players. And Garrett Gilbert's he's really good quarterback. He can move around just enough, to avoid people and get the ball out, avoid sacks. So he's a talented player that probably, I would say in all likelihood, will get a shot in the NFL next year somewhere. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, I was fortunate to get the opportunity. The way I ended up at South Carolina was not the way you dream about finishing up a coaching career. And I was out, 3 years, I guess, and this opportunity came up. And they told me we'll practice the month of January, and we'll play February, March, April, 10 games, and hopefully a couple playoff games. And you can have the Orlando team, which is an hour-and-a-half drive from Gainesville. And I said, count me in. That's what I need to do. So I've been blessed. I thank the Alliance guys for hiring me. And this was just a wonderful opportunity to hopefully go out on not maybe this year, maybe we can do this 2 or 3 years, but it's only like a 4 to 5 month job. So if you're semi-retired, you don't want to recruit year-round, this is my kind of job. I told Urban Meyer, you might like this kind of gig we got. And Bobby Stoops, Bobby's wanting to try this 4 to 5 month gig. It's not too bad. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.